Hello everyone, this is MrSovr with another AGK or App Game Kit tutorial, and this one is actually a viewer requested one, and this was about scrolling sprite in the background, sort of bit like if you're in a space game or something similar to another game where you jump around and stuff like that and have like a scenery in the background move. This code basically just does that, nothing else at the moment. Um, Basically what we have here is the display aspect. So the 0.66 means that you're holding the phone normally, not landscape, just portrait wise. The 600, well, you already know the virtual resolution from the previous tutorials. If not, then I would prefer you to go back into those tutorials and watch it. Excuse me. Um, So again, the set resolution mode just makes it look pretty. If it's a 1, a 0, it's more for performance reasons. But here's something a little new right here. This is, like, I'm going to show you two ways on how to initialize a variable. And one is by doing it through this way. Global, meaning that you can access it anywhere. I even believe in functions you can access it, which I will go over eventually. Global just means that the variable a is available anywhere in the code. Sorry, I'm having a problem speaking, but I believe that you can also. Nope, never mind. You can't do a local. I know in other programming languages you could do a local, but for now, a global means that it can be accessed anywhere. So you set the name of the variable, and then you set as a primitive type. And what I mean by primitive type, basically a variable. A variable is a primitive type. In this case, it's a float, meaning it's a 64-bit decimal number, and you can do integer. Nope, not long. You could do integer, float, and those are the ones I mainly use. Integer means that there's no decimal to it. That's the difference. So I'm going to keep these at float. And here's another way to set a variable. This one is a local variable, meaning that it can't be accessed through functions. And yet again, functions, I might as well explain it now, are basically a chunk of code that can only be accessed if you call upon it. So I guess I might as well add in a little function here. Function, say hello. And all it will basically do is just print out saying hello. Now you have to have a function and an end function. I'm going to show you more in detail what it is. And yes, that doesn't turn blue. You just have to press enter and it turns blue. So within the main loop, I'm going to say hello, just right there, and it will print the misspelled hello on the screen. And also we load this space.png, which is a image of a space background with stars and all that. We create two sprites, and we position one sprite to cover the whole entire screen, which again the sprite resolution is 640 by 960, which is the virtual resolution size, so it'll fill up the whole entire screen. And then we position the second one, the X value, at the exact same place, but 960 pixels downwards, meaning that it could cover two of the screens of the actual device, or in this case, a virtual screen on, or a window, I'm sorry, a window that would be displayed on the computer. Now, it's going to be kind of hard to demonstrate this without you really without you actually seeing it too much. So later when I'm done with the program, I'm going to go into Paint and I'm going to kind of demonstrate how the sprites work, as in movement wise. But right now you set B, which actually when you think about it, I didn't really need to do any of this. Well, I guess I do with the X's, but B again is a global variable, I'm sorry, that is equal to 960, which is right here. We go into the main loop, we do the sync, which updates everything. We have a equals a minus speed. And again, I didn't quite explain this to you, but the actual number, or the pound key, whatever you call it, that basically demonstrates that this is a float, meaning that it can have decimals on it. Now if I were to take this away, it would be an integer, which means no decimals, just normal real numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. So there's also strings, which you have a $ in front, which represents strings, and that I believe are the variable types of that. So we have A and B slowly going upwards by, as we initialized up here, 0.5. So that's the speed the sprites are actually going. So with A, if it is negative, if it's less than negative 959, that means that if that sprite hits that value, which is another screen on top of the actual screen you're looking at, it will teleport under the second sprite and then continue moving up. So think of it as like two boxes. You're pushing it, and then when it hits a sensor, one box goes around the other box and back on the conveyor belt or whatever, right beside the second box, and it goes back and forth to simulate a scrolling background, basically. And this sets the positions of the sprite, and this was our little function. So let's see this in work. And we have our little hello over there, which demonstrates how the function works. Of course, you could put in values within the function and have values, only one value returned in the function. Unless you have a global, then you could do multiple variables. But as you can see the, I don't know if you can see it that well, but it is the space sprite, or two space sprites, one on top of another, and they just switch spots, basically. Meaning that if this one moves up and then hits the thing at the very top of the screen up here, it moves back all the way down to the bottom here and keeps on moving, so it looks like it's continuous. And that's basically how that works. It's really simple of a code. And let's go into Paint. Excuse me. And let's draw two squares and let's move them around. And I will show you how this works. Okay, I know they're not perfect, but so you have this one move up a little, and you, whoops. I guess you can't select them. But anyways, we have this square right here. When it hits a certain point, which is like right here, it will move from here to down here, all the way to the very end there, and then this square right here will move up into this place, and it will repeat the process. Think of it as like a conveyor belt that goes around in a circle. But you only see this part of the conveyor belt, not the other part. And that's basically the terminology of how that works. So again, this is fairly simple. You can see the code here and how it works and everything. And I will be doing a couple other tutorials. The next one's really cool because you get to work with camera functions and images and stuff like that, and printing and saving. So thank you for watching, everyone. Again, this is MrSovr. Make sure to subscribe and like my videos. If you also want to, you can comment on any other requests or share the video. That would be most appreciated. And thank you for watching.